I'm going to give it back to you in a second.
Yeah.
I think our people are just tired. I think a lot of our Southern Baptists are just spiritually exhausted. We've called them to the battle constantly and done very little to build them up spiritually. My biggest concern for Southern Baptists is that we are so task-oriented that we're afraid of anything that looks like navel-gazing. So we basically just have not helped our folks understand what it means to live the deeper Christian life. So many of our people, they're just spiritually depleted. And every time we yell charge, fewer of them show up. And I think that's a big concern. The other concern that I have is that I think the culture is running so far away from us that there's fear, there's anger, there's resentment. There are a lot of different motivations, but I'm afraid that part of the problem also is we just don't let people into our hearts anymore. You know, I've started preaching regularly preaching the story of the Good Samaritan because I think as Jesus is talking in there, Jesus helps us understand what it takes to actually reach somebody. You actually have to care about them and love them. And so many times I hear people that go out, they do disaster ministry, and they say, well, somebody says, why did you do this? And they'll say, well, because Jesus commanded me to do it, or God commands me to love you. To me, the answer should first be because I love you. Oh, and by the way, God loves you too. And I think we're missing that. And somehow we have to get back to the place where the people in our churches actually are brokenhearted for the rest of the people out there, and they actually want to go out and rescue them and not protect themselves from all that stuff that's going on out there. I guess ultimately we need a serious revival.
I think we've developed too much of a militaristic response to our culture. We are engaged in a grand cultural warfare, cultural battles all around us, and we've developed a battle mentality. I deal with the culture issues all the time. And the rarest Christian that I find is the Christian who engages in these Christian battles with a Christian heart. The most common thing I find, people are motivated by anger. They're motivated by frustration. They're motivated by everything imaginable emotion. But the rarest one is the one that's motivated by love for my neighbor. And we need to get back to the fact that if that's not our motivation, God doesn't need us in that battle. I'd rather have 5 people in the state of Missouri working with us on the cultural battlefronts who have the right motivation than 50,000 coming out of the pews with the wrong motivation, because they're doing more damage than good. And I see it across denominational lines.